Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing very good. Yeah. This is 2 nights in a row of pursuing my goal of working 5 days a week. And also, it isn't just about working 5 days a week, but it's also making the goal, a monetary goal, that I want to be making every single night also. So, and of course, I work Saturday as well. Excuse me. So, anywho, yeah, I'm almost there with getting to, excuse me, the money together for the car rental. Almost there. It's like, yay. I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. So, it's like, wow. Yesterday, I got started a little bit late. I needed to run down and pick up my sensors, for my diabetes. I know, I'm kind of tired. By the time I did that and then gassed up, and yeah, I didn't get started until I think it was sometime around 3:30, 4 o'clock, something like that. So yeah, I got a bit of a late start yesterday, and then my first run, it was actually dropping off somebody's prescription. You can do You can do the option through Walgreens if you get your prescriptions done through Walgreens to have them delivered. Walmart also offers the same thing. It's kind of limited as to which prescriptions. Like, for instance, I can't have my insulins delivered to me because they have to be refrigerated or whatever, even though I don't refrigerate them. But, there's the chance with that prescription, where there could be other stops along the way, reducing the amount of time that they wind up being in the refrigerator. So, but yeah, there's that one, and also I can't have my sensors delivered because they're too costly, too much of a risk for somebody to just walk off with. So, that's not an option either, but there are some prescriptions where you can have them delivered to you. So anyway, that's what I was doing as I picked up somebody's prescription and took them out. Actually, it was a funny situation. I wound up way north up there around Ham Lake again, and which I don't mind. But this was a little bit of a different area than where I was used to going. And I go out there, and I pass by this one house, and I'm going to where the app is telling me where the address is supposed to be. There's nothing there. Well, there's something there, all right. It was a mini forest. I was like, okay, is there a house back there I can't see? There's no driveway. There's no way for me to be able to get into it. Is some hermit going to come walking out? That's what I was starting to wonder. If I'm going to just have to pull over to the side of the road here, and somebody's just going to, oh, there you are. Okay, here, I'm just going to come walking out or some shit. I'm like, oh my gosh. It was so funny. But I'm like, yeah, no, the app has to be wrong. There's got to be a house here somewhere. Sure enough, I just had to backtrack a little bit, and it was that house that was sitting there. It was way off the road. Excuse me, so sorry. Yeah, it was a little ways off the road. It was a big, beautiful house, new construction. So, here, let me turn this thing off. I think it might be irritating a little bit. But anyway, found it. It was the address. It was right on the house and everything. And it was just like, okay, got it. And right next to it was a cornfield. I know, me with my cornfields. So, but yeah, that was kind of funny. But yeah, that one took me way up there. It was a little weird. I had spiritual experience beforehand, where I kept getting signs. Some of them are just very personal with me, with knowing, especially this one number combination. Anytime I see it, I know something's up or whatever. I need to be on my guard. I need to be mindful. It's basically a message from one of my guides that I have with me all the time. And sure enough, and I kept seeing numbered signs and so forth. I wound up back in this one little neighborhood that I was in the night before, Sunday night. Little historic neighborhood, bunch of Victorians. On the smaller side, I even got a chance to see one style of a Queen Anne that I've only seen in pictures. And that was awesome. It was fully restored, at least exteriorly. If that's a word, I have no idea. If not, I just made one up. From the exterior side, it's been completely restored, and it's beautiful. And I just absolutely loved seeing it. And got to see a couple of painted ladies right next door to each other too. But I was actually dropping off on the other side, and in the middle of these homes is this beautiful park, really, really beautiful. It's in an area called North Minneapolis, and you can see, and I wound up downtown there of North Minneapolis, and you could see how they're working on revitalizing the area. Beautiful historic buildings, absolutely gorgeous. I actually like it. It definitely appeals to me, even though it's an urban center and so forth. I actually really do like it, primarily because of the revitalization efforts. Instead of going through and tearing it all down, they're saving it all. You've got the storefronts, you've got the apartment up above. You've got I think you got some hotels down there. But yeah, it's they're in the process of trying to bring it all back. And excuse me, I think I got it that time. And I was picking up this one spot, and you do have the tram that goes through and so forth. But I was picking up this one spot where this poor kid, he was just bored out of his mind. You could tell it's not doing all that terribly well at this point. But it could in the future. But it was a very old spot. They kept the old, they brought in some new, of course. Of course they have to with, all of the modern codes and so forth. But they also left the historic, and like the old wood floors, they left them instead of covering them up or what have you. They were still there in the front entrance with the tile work, the mosaic tile work. They left it there. Loved it. It's like, yeah, just have to work on bringing it back, the area. You can definitely tell it got pretty run down. But with time, I think that it will come back. excuse me, also wound up late last night back at the one place with the lockers. Wound up back there, but I found out how they work that um, with the overnight hours. So that was good. Unfortunately, this one guy, he kept trying to get my attention. It was my last pickup. I was dead exhausted. By this point, it was almost like 1:30 in the morning. I'm not used to being up those hours anymore, first of all. And then on top of it, driving like this. So I was really feeling it. But I kept going, I kept persevering, even though my brain kept being like, oh, well, you could just make it out tomorrow or even make it out. No, the goal is this every single night. We're going to get into this routine. And it's like, all right. And I was feeling it, I'll admit. And I did have a bit of a high sugar last night, and then I got a little hungry, and of course I got myself something to eat a little bit, just a little snacky. I had stopped off at Hy-Vee. Those stores, they confuse me, but anyway. And it doesn't help either with the app, with the way they set up their accounts on the app. Instead of giving the aisle number or whatever, they just say, "Oh, this item is located under cheeses. This well, you got cheeses all over the freaking place in that place. This item is under the butter. This item is in the cereal aisle." And because it's a cereal, they have it down the cereal aisle. Well, unfortunately, it's like instead of giving the aisle number where it will take and group like items together into that, putting them down that same aisle. Okay, and if you don't catch it, if you don't go down the shopping list, you will end up running all over the store. Instead of like other places, like the Cub stores, which I do the majority of my shopping orders out of, they'll do the aisles. Okay, these items, instead of this one item, is down aisle 1. These items are down aisle 2, instead of, oh, okay, well, this item is down this aisle, and this item is down this aisle, and then you wind up running, and it wastes a lot of time. It really does. So, and then on top of it, it doesn't help either what they do. They're not long aisles. They have a divider, basically a racetrack that separates that splits the aisles in two. So you might say for instance the northern or the aisles that are more towards the back of the store, they'll have all their own items, and then the ones that are more towards the front of the store, they'll have their own items. It isn't a continuation going down the same aisle. It's not a continuation. So you're having to be looking up at the signs all the time. Okay, so if you're towards the back of the store, you're looking and you expect, oh, okay, this aisle has this item, so, these items, so it's a continuation. No. So you could wind up, say for instance, with that same aisle, it starts off with soda and winds up with cereal. Or something like that, or canned goods or whatever. So it isn't like a consistency either. And it's just like, oh gosh. Great stores. I love, what the items that they stock and so forth, but yeah, the shopping experience is a little bit to be desired. And it isn't, also that's another problem too with the store. I don't know if I've mentioned this or not. But the another thing is that, like, for instance, I was shopping for this one lady Sunday. She was looking for these one particular bottled teas and energy drinks. Oh, gosh. All right. So, You've got the aisle for bottled teas and energy drinks are right next to each other. Okay? Couldn't find them. And they only have a small selection of, at least with the energy drinks, they only had a very small selection there. Well, I know with that particular brand that they sell a ton of different varieties. And I'm just like, oh, great. Scavenger hunt. That's the only way that you can call it. So here I am. I'm going through all the front end, the refrigerators right there around the cash registers looking for it. Plus, they've also got a section over that's health foods where they sell energy drinks and bottled teas. So I'm over there looking. Plus, the areas over where they have the prepared foods, the baked goods, the bagels. Oh, they have a separate bagel spot also. I learned that last night, which is basically breakfast items, but they call it bagel shop. Yeah. So the energy drinks or teas could be in any number of one of those prepared food areas, plus the Hy-Vee that I was at last night also had a separate bakery section for cakes at the front of the store. So this one item could be anywhere. And these are not small stores. These are rather large stores too. And it's just like, oh my gosh. For this one item. And I wound up in that same situation last night with trying to find donuts. Plus she wanted this specific kind of butter that is sold in the case, and I'm looking around all over the place to see if maybe by chance they also prepackaged that, which I never found, and I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. It's not available. No, and there's not a substitution. I have no idea where it would be. Fuck it. I got fed up with looking. So this is why I was really getting tired last night. By the time everything was said and done, and with that last pickup, and fortunate this guy, when he was trying to get my attention, I was just not paying attention to him. Period. I was just like, I'm just paying attention to my app, and he's flashing his lights and honking at me and this and that and so forth. I guess he didn't want to spoof me by getting out of the car. I don't know. I mean, it's not the greatest of neighborhoods. You got homeless shelter right around the corner. Literally around the corner. Back of the building, opposite side of the street. So, and yeah, there's some homeless hanging out around there as well. And I'm just like, yeah. I was exhausted. And finally, I was just like, oh, this guy's trying to get my attention. He might be trying to help me even. And he's just like, over there. I'm like, oh, thank you. I mean, I was just gone, exhausted. So anyway, I picked up that order, and it was a two-part, two separate people, but delivery number 2, basically. And I had already gone offline. I was close, and I knew that between those 2 orders, it would put me to my nightly goal. And so I already went offline, basically till the app stopped sending me requests. So anyway, I went to go drop off the first order, which wasn't too far. Gorgeous, gorgeous, beautiful historic building. I mean, gorgeous historic apartment building where they retained the front door, the original front door, the tile work on the landing after you go upstairs a little bit there to the front door. It is secured entryway. You can get into, the foyer, but, you have to have like a fob or a code or whatever in order to be able to get in. So, and they've retained all the tile work, on the floor. And it's historic because it's that little itty bitty tile, where they do like mosaics, or they'll do the first letter, the initial of the building name, or what have you. Yeah, I've come across building names. Historic building names. It's like, wow, this is just so cool. I love it. So, but yeah, so by the time everything was said and done, I didn't get home. It was almost 2 in the morning. So, yeah, late night. But I got a chance to see that little neighborhood over there and see downtown North Minneapolis. It's rough around the edges, big time. But I love seeing things like that. It reminds me of where I used to live in Virginia, with the revitalization efforts that they were doing in the various cities there in that area I used to live in. Norfolk, Portsmouth, Chesapeake each have historic areas. And we're talking real old historic areas, like Portsmouth, going all the way back to the colonies. Um, Portsmouth, I believe, was established in 1752, and I know definitely one, I think maybe a couple more of the original buildings from when the city was first established, when the first charter was signed by Colonel Crawford. Um, so this is what I'm used to. This is the sort of thing that I'm used to. So seeing it, being a part of it again, even though it's not as historic as that, you know, and they were rough around the edges, big time. They got really run down by people. But I know when I left, there was the revitalization efforts that were happening. And so I appreciate and enjoy seeing it again. Um, and I appreciate seeing people coming back and revitalizing those areas. So, I don't know. It is an option. It's something I always wanted to do. Take one of those big, beautiful um, um, Victorians and remodel. So, I don't know. And these ones aren't as big. These are the smaller ones, but they're still beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. I don't know. It is, like I said, it's an option. um, like I said yesterday, I'm going with the flow with a lot of things, with pretty much everything. But another area, what the good thing about making that run and with going through all that cleansing, and then the signs that I was getting ahead of time. Excuse me. Oh, and that was the other thing I was going to mention. I got a sign in the end after going through downtown Minneapolis and dealing with some of the stressors of all of that and so forth. At one point, well, unfortunately, the app was telling me to go down this road. It was telling me to go right or do it correctly, but the business wound up being on the other side of the road. It's like, okay. And dealing with, all the chaos, the one-way streets, the tram, so on and so forth, worrying about having a cop roll up on me, all this sort of stuff, plus maneuvering and for that business and everything. I was just like, okay, chill. I pulled over, gave myself a second, clear my head real quick, start again. At least I had the option to be able to do that this time, whereas the night before I didn't have that option because it was just too slammed. So, but anyway, I had that option last night and started again. And then after I picked it up, I was exiting, going to where I was dropping off, and got a little number sign to let me know you did good, girl. Yay. So, but throughout everything, I realized that the reason why it all happened was because of those moments. And then, and the very end, I would take this as a huge sign as well. Had some clouds moving in. Started off like today, really, where it's beautiful, bright blue, sunny skies, not a cloud in the sky, so on and so forth. And all of a sudden, storm clouds start moving in. I posted over on the blog the clouds that were moving in, and I was just like, ooh, this is a good setup for tornadoes. And I was in areas perfect for getting them. I love being on either the north or west side because it's, well, for one thing, it's more open spaces, but there's also better opportunities to be able to see the storms move in. And so I'm like, yeah, I want to be able to live at one of those areas so I can watch that because I love that. So anyway, but yeah, I had the, with making that run north, I'm just like, yeah, this is what I want. The wide open spaces and so forth, the farm country and everything. It's like, okay, let's go for it. That's the long-term goal. Maybe have a little garden. Don't know if I'd want someplace big enough to, sell produce or another option, and not just selling produce. You can sell. There's one farm I came across where they sell flowers, plants for like nurseries and so forth. So that's another option too. It's like, or I have my love of my teas. Maybe I can start growing tea plants for tea leaves. Who knows? Yeah, I know you got icky eye. She got some bad allergies in that one eye flaring up. So, I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, with clearing everything out and then going back, having opportunities to go back, I'm just like, yeah, this is what I want. This feels right. Especially after being in some of those areas that I was considering and so forth, I was just like, no, it's not right. It's not right. So I thought maybe, but no. Mm-mm. And I also had opportunity to go back up to Anoka last night. Found the metaphysical store that I've been interested in going and visiting. I found that last night. They changed the name. I don't know if it was bought and then the name was changed or what have you, but I definitely want to go there. Anoka, and I had a chance to go through there in daylight hours too, and it is. And I was dropping off in the historic neighborhood, some of the old homes, and I'm like, yeah. And it's so cute, so quaint. It's a small town with small shopping center, shopping area, I should say, with on Main Street, yep. Where they have the modernized, historic looking light poles and so on and so forth. It's just like, yeah, this is it. This is where I want to go. This is where I want to live. So, and they also have this beautiful park there, and they have a dam there with the waterfall. I'm not too sure which river it is that runs through there. I'm going to assume the Mississippi, because the Mississippi runs through here quite a lot. Also the Minnesota River runs through here as well. But I'm like, no, that's where I want to go. So I've made up my mind. And I'm like, nope, this is it. So that's the goal right now. But in the end, and with making, going through, following myself, listening to my higher self, and so on and so forth, I got blessed with a double rainbow last night. I also got I wasn't able to get pictures. It was huge. Or I should say they were huge. It was just like, whoa. I mean, huge. And so I wasn't able to get a picture, but I got video. So I got two different videos. One is when I saw it initially. I was dropping off an order, and I took an opportunity in the person's driveway to get video of it. And then second video is a little bit later. It was 2 deliveries that I was doing. And the sun, it was clearing in the west a little bit, and the sun was coming out, and it was doing all the oranges and magentas and pinks and so forth. And it was just beautiful. And unfortunately, the second video doesn't do it justice. Unfortunately, of course, cameras, they only are able to capture so much, a small portion of what the human eye can capture. And it was amazing. Oh my gosh. Absolutely amazing. And the bands on the bottom rainbow were so wide. I was trying to capture that as well, and trying to, at one point, like midway, I was trying to zoom in, and it just wasn't capturing it well at all, the camera. And so I went ahead and zoomed back out. But oh my gosh, it was just amazingly awesome. And it gave me that, with making the decisions that I made, it gave me that drive, that passion to keep going, keep pushing it, to get to finish off the night right. It's, and I used to work these hours all the time. What I've been finding, what I felt like I was getting back, is that passion that I had when I first moved out to Vegas. And unfortunately, of course, with everything that happened, I got ran down. But those first 3 years when my mom and I were out there together, that's what I'm getting back. That sort of love and passion. And it's like, yeah. So, but no. But as far as, I'm going to enjoy watching to see how North Minneapolis progresses with the revitalization. I mean, who knows? Maybe I might buy one if one comes available when I'm ready or whatever. I might buy one and redo it or something. But I want to wind up out there. I want to go north. I think Newton was left outside, and they left. So, but yeah, I made that decision. So at least initially, Anoka, who knows, maybe I'll buy one of those little historic homes that's up there. There's some of the smaller ones like this one that I'm living in. But there's also the one, there's also the Victorians too up there as well. So we'll see. But anyway, go check out the blog. I'm going to be posting a lot of stuff up there, especially with storm-related stuff. I think it's easier in the long run. So I'd better go so I can take care of Mr. Newton. That's the dog, by the way. So, anywho, I love you guys. I'll talk to y'all soon.